We are looking at the Dow Jones Industrials gaining 132 points, S&P up 50, the Nasdaq chopping higher by 233 points, the Russell 2000 up 5. Whereas stocks have flipped the narrative, certainly over the past 24 hours, Treasury yields have not. Yesterday, both the 2 and the 10-year breached the 4% ceiling, and look at the 10-year, it's still there at the moment. It's at 4.04%, up 1.3 basis points. The 2-year is retracing a little bit. It's down 1 basis point to 3.985%. Let's get to oil. After gushing 3.7% higher yesterday, oil futures are receding. We've got light sweet crude right now down 4.33% in the aftermarket. Brent, the international benchmark, down 4.33%. Investors have some big fish to fry in the next few days. The latest read on consumer inflation, that's September CPI coming in Thursday, with bank earnings kicking off the season Friday. So let's get right to the floor show. Joining me now, Circle Squared Alternative Investments CEO Jeff Sika and Carnivore Trading CEO Dutch Masters. Jeff, I'm throwing this to you first. We know that CPI is coming on Thursday. People started to say that the inflation reports weren't as important as they were in the past. Are they still important to you?
I think they're paramount right now because here we come off of a couple days ago, we got that very strong jobs report, and everybody started to question, does the Fed have enough ammunition to cut interest rates 50 basis points in November? So we had China came out and there was a tsunami of liquidity provided for the market, the stimulus. And now you're going to see if that's affected consumer prices. And does the Fed have the justification to decrease interest rates 50 basis points? That's what investors want. I think it's most likely not going to happen now, and that could have an effect on the market.
You know, the past several days and into late last week, we had the China stocks roaring higher. But then there was a meeting of the top Chinese officials overnight, and they didn't announce new stimulus measures. And you started to see Chinese equities come down. I was surprised that that didn't negatively affect our markets, but at the moment, it certainly doesn't appear to. So Dutch, what are you looking at 30,000 feet on a day like this where we're back in the green and we're not roaring ahead, or certainly erasing, at least for the Dow Jones Industrials, which yesterday lost about 398 points. So we haven't erased that yet. But what is capturing your eye as a top investor?
Well, we're seeing that the 10-year at over 4 is kind of holding things back, we think. And we also are waiting to see if the Russell 2000 will start to pick up. We really want to see those two things happen in order for us to get more bullish. We're being kind of patient. We're sitting in a fair amount of cash, and we're not being too impulsive in getting into some things. China did provide an incredible amount of stimulus, and when they pulled back, I expected us to get hit too. But I agree with Jeff. I don't think that we're going to see, 50 basis points on the next move. I think it's 25. I'm not a big bond guy. I'm a stock guy. What I'm doing is reading the tape and watching what the action is in the stock market and feeling how that's, and I'll tell you, it's been ignoring a lot of things, and I think it's climbing that wall of worry. And, what we are doing is being very selective in the sectors. And as you and I talked about last time, that AI database build-out sector has done well for us.
Yeah, it certainly has. And you were taking sort of a wider picture to some of the fringe names that are out there that are publicly traded in the AI space. You look at some of the names that are very central to it, whether it's NVIDIA or Micron, Avago, which is Broadcom, Microsoft. Microsoft actually got a downgrade earlier, but Oppenheimer cut it to perform from outperform. But as you sort of focus in on this, which areas of AI do you feel you need to scrape into the portfolio?
Well, the guys that are actually providing the electronic components and the storage and the conduits and the electrical conduits and everything that goes into the actual build out. These are the POWLs, the Powells. These are the Arista Networks, ANET. These are, yeah, there they are, VRT. And these are the companies that are really providing I mean, most people have never heard of these companies before. Everybody's heard of NVIDIA, and so you go to a cocktail party and you hear about NVIDIA, so what, okay? But these are the ones underneath that are providing you with immense growth. Then you've got some old school stuff like Corning and Trane, and you would think to yourself, these companies haven't done anything for a long time. But who's going to do the cooling? You know,
Yeah,
who's
yeah.
better than Trane? So.
Okay, yeah, the old school names. We've known Pentair for a long time, not to mention Corning, ticker symbol GLW, right. Which, by the way, for those of you older folks who understand where these tickers came from, that stands for Glass Works. Jeff,
that's right.
You're looking at a different kind of tech. You're watching Tesla very closely. The robo-taxi event is coming up. Is that some kind of catalyst that could actually move a broader part of the markets?
I really think it is, and people aren't looking at it for what it is, which is, in a lot of ways, an AI play. I mean, Tesla had a very flat year. Most of its gains, above 70% of the gain, was from April. And what they're going to roll out, see, Elon Musk has come out and said that the future of Tesla is autonomous driving. Autonomous driving is so intertwined with AI. I agree. I love those stocks, by the way, that Dutch talked about. I agree with that. But what Elon Musk also said is that the robo-taxi could increase Tesla's value by tenfold. So the way I look at it is, if they have a good event in your neck of the woods in Burbank, Hollywood, where the event is, if they have a good event, if it lives up to the hype, you could see AI stocks and Tesla do better.
We've seen in the past Elon gets a little hyperbolic. Some of that stuff it comes later than he promises it to be, but we're watching all of it. And again, Dow is still up about 110 points, green on the screen. Dutch, Jeff, thank you both very much. Always great to have your perspective. Pepsi, you guys, kicking off the third quarter earnings parade. The beverage giant's revenue fizzled